All right, let's talk about the verse for a second. So in the recording, there actually isn't any guitar going on. It's just drums and some vocal harmony texture. But you still can play chords because what the music that's happening in there is based on a pretty simple chord progression. The only thing is that you're not going to be able to play your standard voicings for chords because we're in that open tuning. But you can play some simple voicings that sound pretty nice if you want to sing along. And the first one is an E flat, and it's basically, you can play the whole voicing just on the 11th fret. So I'm just playing on the low E string, skipping the A, playing on the D, and then the G. Okay, so that's your first chord. The second one's B flat. You're just going to move that whole voicing down to the 6th fret. So the exact same fingering, just move down to the 6th fret. Okay, then the next one, C minor. Okay, so on the 8th fret, the low E string, on 8th fret on the D string, and then the 7th fret on the G string. Okay, and then the last one is an A flat, and you can just play open because we're in open A flat tuning, so you can just play your E, D, and G string open. So when you put those 4 chords together, each one is just going to get 4 counts, and it sounds sort of like this. I'm tearing up across your face, moved us through light to find your name. Okay, then it just repeats again for the next 4 lines of the verse. Alright, let's go over the epic rocking outro part. Sounds kind of like this. So I did my best to transcribe these chord voicings, although in the recording there's a ton of instruments going on and it's really dense. But I think I got pretty close to the sound. So it's basically just 4 chords kind of repeated. And these can be a little bit tricky to play. Okay, the first 2 have the same fingering, but they are starting on the 13th fret, okay, on the low E string, 13th fret on the A string, okay, 15th fret on the D string, and 12th fret on the G string. So, okay, it's a real crunchy sounding chord. If you had to call it a name, it would probably be like F sharp minor 9. Okay, I find it easier to play the low note with my thumb. That just depends on your hands and the guitar that you have if it has a thin neck. I find it comfortable to do that. So, okay, that's the first chord. The next chord is the same fingering, just starting now from the 8th fret, and this would be kind of like a C minor 9. Okay. Okay, so first 2 chords. The next chord is pretty simple. This is basically just an E flat major chord, and you're just going to bar at the 11th fret. You're going to bar the lowest 4 strings, so it's okay. And then you've got this little riff that kind of takes you back to the last chord, and it's on the 6th fret on the D string and the G string, and you just play those 2 strings together, and then you let go of the G string and you play that open, so it sounds like. So you're having both fretted on the 6th fret, and then D string fretted on the 6th fret, and then G string open. And then that takes you back to the last chord, which is just basically an A major chord, so that's your open. And then he kind of does he does a bunch of different things in that space, but it's mostly filled up with drums. But sometimes he goes, sometimes he bends. Okay, but that chord is 2 bars long. So the strumming, let's talk about the strumming for a second. The rhythm is basically like 1, 2, 3, 4. Bum 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 bum. Okay, and you probably want to do down up. You want to go down up up down down down. So it'd be like, oops. Down, up, up, down, down, down. Down, up, up, down, down, down. Down, down. Okay? So you're strumming, whenever you're playing on the beat, with the beat, you're strumming down. And whenever you're playing on the upbeat, you're strumming up. So when you put that section together, it sounds something like. So anyway, I hope you have some fun with that. And that's basically the end of the song. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, find me on my website, laschoolofguitar.com. And hope you enjoyed this video.